What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how I'm weirdly excited for the Uncharted movie. Now, I've talked about the Uncharted movie before, and I've talked probably about my excitement. I wanted to put it all together in a video. This is, of course, the Sunday video for Podcast Now Plus, so I'm going to go a little bit off the rails, just kind of have fun with this. And I was thinking, okay, well, what are some things, what's upcoming, January, February, and I've talked about some of the stuff that's coming up in those months. I thought, Uncharted is that movie in February that there's all these games coming out. I'm so excited for so many of the games, and then you have Uncharted the film. And I've been critical of this movie. I have. I will say, since the last time I made a video on it, since the last time I've been critical on it, they released that 2-3 minute scene of them in the plane, like the entire scene, right? It happened on the same night where they announced the PSVR 2 and a couple other things, and they showed that. And I believe Tom Holland even came on stage and talked about how big fan of the games. He played it. He first started playing the games around Spider-Man Homecoming time, like when he was, filming that. So it was that. And I will say, I actually like that clip. That clip taken in context, start to finish. Now, we don't know what happens right before it. We don't know what happens right after. So I guess it's not in context fully. But that scene all in one thing was actually pretty fun. I've said it before, my opinion on this movie is just, I personally can't get through the mental gymnastics of, they originally said it's a prequel and it's not going to mess with the games. It's not going to change any of the games. And that was a flat-out lie because the movie is very clearly inspired by Uncharted 3 and 4, so much so to have set pieces and big moments from those games in their film. So that was just an early thing that they said that literally was not true. And I'm still struggling to get by it. I know many people have, reached out to me, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube, and just said, I think the movie may actually be solid if me, and I'm okay with people, calling this out, if I just kind of drop that mentality and just say, it's a movie inspired by or based off of a game. It's going to borrow some of the best elements. It's going to do its own thing, but it's also going to borrow. And that's just it. I think if I can get through that, the movie may, again, weirdly good. That's kind of how I come to that conclusion. The movie may be weirdly solid to a lot of people, including myself, if I can, get by that. There are some things, but I will say this. That, to me, is the biggest issue with this movie, which is actually surprising because you ask some people, and they cannot get past Tom Holland as Drake. By the way, none of these things I'm against. If you think any of this stuff, I'm not saying you're wrong to think it or you shouldn't think it. You think whatever you want to think. I totally respect that. And that's the scary thing with this movie, that I think it really is facing a very uphill battle, because you have some people that just cannot accept, which is fine, that Tom Holland is this young Nathan Drake. I can get by that. I think I'm okay with that. Then you have Sully. That I can't get by, but I'm just looking you eye to eye. I will just ignore it as much as I can in this movie. I will just kind of pretend like he is Sully, but he's actually not. It's a weird impersonation role. I'm not hugely opposed to what he looked like at the end of that second trailer where he had the mustache and where it was clearly that Uncharted 3 scene with him and Nate. I'm okay with, now, again, it's not that Uncharted 3 scene with him and Nate because they've met each other, but they're both wearing the outfits from that. That's what annoys me. It's you're trying to replicate the first time they met in 3 when he's going through the museum and then they have the meal at the bar or diner or whatever. They're trying to do that, but they're not, and that annoys me. But I'm okay with his look there. And the sad thing is that's most likely the end of the movie. That's the last, maybe the final scene, maybe the last 10 or so minutes. I don't think Mark Wahlberg will look like Sully should with the mustache and all that stuff. He won't look like that for 90% of the film. So, again, to some people, there's things like that that'll just, get in the way, which I think is totally respectable. And then there's, of course, the movie itself. It could just fail. It could just not be good. I liked the set piece. The plane thing, set piece wise, awesome. I was a fan for Uncharted 3. I'm a fan now. That pirate ship floating thing, I love that. I think that's if that's their unique big set piece that they came up with on their own, obviously doesn't have to do with the games. I like that. But the thing is, and I know some people actually aren't impressed with that. Kind of odd. I personally am, but that's fine if you disagree. But the thing is, that proves, if it's good, if that scene is good in the movie, that they could have just done a prequel, made cool set pieces, now they are making a new villain, right? You could do all this stuff, and you could do it without stealing elements from, select this Uncharted game and use it. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done it. So we'll see. I mean, it's a big test. That's going to be the big thing to me, is if I walk out of it and I say, shoot, they should have probably just done it all themselves, because it gets too messy when you're trying to borrow and then you're trying to do your own thing. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm weirdly really excited. Like, I'm very, very excited for this movie. At the time you guys are seeing this is after I've seen Scream. I'm recording it before. So, like, Scream is the first movie I'm seeing in theaters in 2022. Uncharted will be the second movie I'd see in theaters. So I weirdly think there can be, like, 2 in a row that I enjoy. Maybe not adore, maybe not love. You have those, and I think The Batman is the third movie I'll end up seeing in theaters. So we're going to have a good stretch, hopefully, of these 3 films. And Uncharted definitely is the most wild card, because I think it can go in all sorts of ways. It could be like a surprisingly hit. It could be like a surprising hit where, like, you actually enjoy it, or it could just be like, oh my God, I can't. Why did you choose Mark Wahlberg as Sully? Or, Tom is kind of uneven as Nate, which I think I think people are just going to have to, I guess, massively ignore Mark Wahlberg's existence, okay? And I think in terms of Nathan Drake and Tom, it's going to be kind of half and half. Like, sometimes you can believe it and you can see it, and then other times you can't. I feel like that's probably going to be how it goes. Chloe looks like the most accurate, and, like, they could easily nail it all, or, like, nail it if they just, like, don't go wild, just keep it contained. I think you can easily nail the character of Chloe. So hopefully they do that, and the rest we'll have to see. So I'll do, like, a preview thing for this movie where I talk about it right before it releases on my main channel. Just kind of wanted to talk about my early thoughts about a month or so out from it right now. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I'll see you all on tomorrow's video.